Hi, you. It's me, the Cold Phoenix Star, and this is the Nick Star podcast. I did not record or post a podcast last week because it was that in between Christmas and New Year thing, and it was maybe even New Year's Eve. Yes, I think it was the day I normally do things, and I just didn't. I said that I may not. Maybe I would, maybe I wouldn't. And we had only been a couple of days into our new house sit. Oh, cricket. Oh. At the zoo. We call it the zoo because there is many, many, many animals that we are house sitting for. And I just realized one of the horses has gone back over the fence to where he lives because the neighbours came back. He's just standing there staring at everyone. Hang on, my friends. There's a fence between us. Yeah, so I did have 4 horses, but now I have 3 because I see one's gone home. 3 cows, 2 goats, 4 alpacas, 2 dogs. One's a border collie and is like, follows me around like I'm his best friend. His name is River. And there's the cutest little long-haired dachshund who thinks he's a lion. And they're very sweet and not annoying. There's also 2 lizards, one blue tongue lizard and one frilled net lizard, and one large snake. Snake lives in a glass cabinet and has still got a big bulge in his belly from being very fed when his owners left. Anyway, days were kind of full and we've got our little routine down now. And it's only like half an hour in the morning and half an hour in the evening feed time. Oh, there's also 4 chickens. I forgot about them. But they're old and they just kind of free range all day and are very funny and cute. Anyway, all these, it's like a giant petting zoo because all these animals have grown up with 5 kids and have been jumped on and cuddled and played with. And so all the animals are like literally like domestic pets. And you can cuddle the cows, like just lie on you. And I don't do anything to them. They're just like so well loved, so well fed. It's fascinating. They're all just unconditional love and they're so gentle and they all get on really well. Like they're a little gang. They've got 10 acres and they just kind of wander around. There's a creek that goes through the property. They play in the creek. Leo goes to plays with them. They all know their names. And you can call to them and they'll come to you. They all know their names. Like, hey, Betty, who is the mum cow, and her daughter, Boo. Betty and Boo, and then Betty had another baby, a little boy cow, and his name's Pumpkins. Betty, Boo, and pumpkins. And the goat's really old and funny. One's 17 and one's 19. Like, they're feisty, but they're not feisty. They're just agile, and except the oldest one, his name is Felix. And when he walks, his knees creak, and you can goes every time he walks. It's so funny. Got creaky knees. Yeah, it's wonderful. Like, it's so fun and lovely and easy. And the puppies, they're not puppies. The dogs, I call all dogs puppies, sleep in our big loft with us. We're in the guest house, and there's just a big loft up top, which is bedroom, and Leah's out down one room and I down the other, and got our own little space, but there's no actual walls. So, like, there's a sofa in between, and anyway, the puppies sleep up there with us, and they're wonderful. They're not disturbing or anything. Like, amazing. Anyway, that's the reason that I didn't record. I was in Animal Land. We call it the zoo because, and it's really funny, like, the owner messaged me today. She goes, "How is everyone at the zoo?" I'm like, "You call it the zoo too." Because she didn't call it the zoo to me. We just called it the zoo because clearly is. Yeah. What I am going to talk about is what I have been explaining and keeps coming up is everyone's stepping into the new year, right? And how to sustain and gain momentum. And, I said it's like exposure therapy, trying to get to the end point just feels overwhelming, and you try once and it's extremely difficult. And it's no different to working out or hot and cold therapy or anything new. You just apply the exposure therapy, and it's what ultimately we've done in the last year in the awakened realization state. 1 year container is just that continual exposure, and eventually what seems completely overwhelming, like completely unimaginable, completely as if, gets to a point where it's just like normal, like it just is regular. And um and it's like anything. And when people are learning how to do the splits, it's just a matter of each day just putting yourself in the position of a splits. And each day you just get a millimeter further and further down. And if you just keep showing up, exposing yourself to the thing you're trying to do, one day you're just there. And the day after, it's quite surprising. And then a week later, it's like, oh, this is what I do. And a month later, it's like, I can do this all the time. This isn't going away. And that's how we approach the long game mindset. Because this whole instant gratification, tried once, failed, tried for a week, didn't work. People give up all the time because they don't go the distance of the exposure therapy. They don't go the distance of the long game. And, quite often when you achieve the thing that seems impossible in any area of your life, whether that takes a month or 3 months or a year or 7 years, you know, you're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I'm actually here." And it really didn't take that long, like, maybe 7 years, but sometimes you can look at life that you've been doing and you've been having these same things go showing up every year, same drama, same conflict, same trauma, same, same, and it's just a different flavor, it's just different color, it's just a different name of an animal. Um, but it's the same, and, you keep chipping it away, and then all of a sudden 7 years later, your life is completely different, like, unimaginable, like, there's no way in lifetimes I thought that this would be my life, you know? And I went 40 years of things just feeling same, different color, and now I look back at 7 years later and go, "Holy crap." Those incremental exposure therapy things, and it's not about a specific time, like everyone's experience of whether it took a week or a month or a year or whatever. If two people show up and do exactly the same thing, trying to get to the very same end result, then Pam will be like, "Oh my God, that felt like it took forever." And then with the other person who did exactly the same thing, like, "Oh my God, that happened so fast." It just depends on your filters, your conditioning, your perception, all of those things. And it's just dropping the whole like time thing and just being willing to show up in the idea that exposure therapy really yields massive, massive results. Like, it's unbelievable. And I know when I first started lifting weights, lifting 1 kilo, and within 10 months, I had 9 kilos. And I remember that first day feeling so heavy and those 9 kilos feeling lighter than those 1 kilos did in the first day. And that was just showing up for 20 minutes, 3 times a week, every week. It was easy to just show up and lift a weight and then go, "Oh, this actually feels really easy. I'm going to get the next ones. Oh, that's really hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, this feels easy now. I'm going to go to the next one." It's exactly the same with anything and everything. Like I said, that's what we did working on this one. I mean, it's a very long document. I I think it's 20 pages long, but we studied that one document all year, and I've never seen so much evolution in any program over any timeline because of the same exposure therapy process that we applied to it. And we're going even deeper this coming year where we're doing 1 minute intentional practice once a day, every day. 1 minute a day, every day, and compounding that over and over and over again, like 1 minute a day, like easy. Um, there is another practice that they don't know about yet. 20 minutes once a week. Everyone do it over and over again. And it does not get boring because at first, so for the 20-minute thing, it's going to feel really, really, really hard. And one day, I won't. The constitution of a 90-year-old monk who has been doing the same thing over and over his whole life. That you'll go from you now to that state in 1 year. So yeah, looking at the illusion of all the ways that we go into separation and run with suffering and the loops and all of that. Just exposure to it every week. And it just falls away. So ultimately, irrespective of anyone being in the container or not, it's about viewing anything that seems impossible or difficult, like exposure therapy, and knowing that if you just do expose yourself to it a little bit every day, it becomes very normal. I was watching Chris Hemsworth's series Limitless last year, and him having to prepare himself for a swim in the ocean in the Antarctic for a very long time, and how his Australian warm ocean water exposure normality was very far from functioning in a perpetual freezing ice bath with waves. And they went day after day through this exposure therapy and all different ways of the body getting used to it. And it's just those neural pathways over and over again, the new thing. It's science, ultimately, for anything and everything. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. That's what I did talk about today. That's what I have spoken about today. So, I am opening up conversation for anyone wanting to know more about this 1 year container. Whether it's a fit for them, whether it's something that feels aligned, and the costs and the commitment of showing up in group and all the facets and all the things. So if you're curious, please message me or email me or have a look on my website where there is all those details. And that's all I got, my love. Happy New Year. Just a reminder, my website is www.nickstar.com. NIKSTARR. Much love. Mwah.